ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing today? Hey, I'm down here. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday. Happy DCA day. Guys, Bitcoin currently trading at $90,619.53. Same exact price that it was yesterday. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. What's going on, Gourmet Breads of Brooklyn? Appreciate you for stopping by. Happy Friday, my friend. Happy DCA day. I kind of like starting the stream at the floor. 89,857. Let me change all of this. This has to be blue, green, not blue, and 2. There we go. And then next we've got, we'll go all the way down here, 88,511. I don't know if this is based on liquidity or something, but it seems awfully thin. 91,202. Honestly, with the liquidation heat map this thin, that might just mean that there's almost no leverage positions left. Do I even do that one? 1.18 million? 92,548. This isn't even like the fun weekend liquidity stuff. This is just like boring, weird. I'm going to get rid of that bounce target because that was wrong. And I'm going to get rid of the CME gap because it's no longer relevant. CME gap has been filled. Bitcoin, 90,619.53. I'm very interested in the thin nature of this liquidation heat map. That looks a little better. I'm going to come down here and grab that. Yeah, I guess that's feasible. What do we got? 89,816. Okay. And that goes all the way down to 89,396. Huh. I guess I'm curious as to why does this one have so much more than the 12-hour? Is this just all that was placed in the last 12 hours? That doesn't really make any sense either. I don't know. That's confusing. It looks like they would take it down if they took it anywhere. Look at how flat it is, though. It's like amazingly flat. Mohar, what's going on, Zach? Zach said, sup, Mr. Zach. We've got Bitcoin, 90,632. Volume looks pretty good, actually. Volume looks pretty decent. RSI dancing around the moving average, red dot in the momentum wave. Not pointing in any particular direction, very sideways. And positive money flow since December. So we're chilling. I do like the slow grind up in that volume. That feels good. And I also like the upward trajectory nature of this price action. It looks very much like we're about to do a little W continuation. Dominance 59.17. We got back above 59. We broke above, retested, and are continuing to the upside, which does not bode well for our altcoins, but it looks decent for Bitcoin. ETH down 0.07 cents the daily close, currently trading at 3,086.36. Let's see if it stays above 3K. If we lose 3K, I guess we could go down to 28.60. I would hope that we would find support around 29, just based on this little bottoming out pattern right here. Volume, I wouldn't say is increasing, it's just becoming more consistent. Whereas we had like up, down, up, down, up, down, very choppy. It's become more full right here. It doesn't look as thin. So we'll see if the RSI crosses over that moving average and pushes to the upside. As of right now, we got red dots, green dots, all on the lower half of the momentum wave. Money flow still positive. Looking good. Sol is up 0.05% on the day, back below our upper trend line. We got almost kind of like, let's see, we got our break, support, continuation, attempted break number 1, fail, attempted break number 2, fail. Are we going to come down for a W off of our neckline? That'd be interesting. In which case, we could be looking at a potential Monday push if it follows that general path. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. It really helps out the channel. Total 3. Currently down 0.17%. We seemingly failed probably like 910. We could even say we failed 900. We're back below it at 875. I like the idea of 875 holding. That would be a nice support area. Nice psychological support area. If we do end up pushing lower, I would like to see some kind of confluence or reaction at our yellow trend line here. I'm going to call it 860. RSI dancing around the moving average, just below, kind of teasing it. And we got red dots and green dots in the momentum wave, chilling in the lower half of market cipher. Money flow is positive, volume looks decent. It is down 0.87% on the day, currently trading at 38.80. I would like 38 to hold. If we lose that, then we're probably going to 36. We do have a trend line here, though. I don't know if that trend line is relevant. I don't remember. Let me see. The trend line goes to... Oh, wow. Trend line goes all the way to 2020, so that is a very important trend line. We were below it for a moment, so that must be the same trend line that Avalanche has. So we were below it for a moment. We're back above it. Our worst case scenario, honestly, we should not go below 37.37. If we do, it's going to get real ugly. It's going to get real ugly. SNEC is currently up 0.49%, trading at 0.001003. I would like to hold 0.001. If not, I'm going to be very upset, very sad. Once again, that's an important price level for me. I like the idea of this being a retest, but we'll see what happens. Midnight. Continuing to break down, we lost 75, so we're going down to 64. Are we going to continue to lose momentum? And how far will it go? Interesting questions. Volume has fallen off a cliff. The hype has died. Is this a good forever short, or are we going to see the hype return? I'm not sure what their marketing budget looks like going into the future. I might just open up a middle finger short just for fun. You guys know I like to short the bottoms. Derek said, howdy JJ. What's going on, Derek? XRP, currently down 0.29% on the day, currently trading at 209 even. We are right below 210 and well above $2. If we do break down further, I would like to see $2 hold as support. RSI chilling right below the moving average. And volume, volume could use some improvements. Momentum wave on the lower half of market cipher. Let's see. Yeah, not much more to say. Money flow has been positive. We got a harsh rejection at 240. And we pulled back quite a ways, actually. This is quite a pullback. 12%? I guess it's not as bad as I thought it was. H-bar, down 0.96% on the day. Rejected 13.2. Currently holding just below 12. We'll see if we break down and see if the 11.5 comes into play again. RSI dancing around that moving average. Possibly trying to break above. We got a red dot of the momentum wave pointed to the downside. Volume looks really good on H-bar, actually. And we've had positive money flow since December 25th, actually, Christmas. SWE is down 1.23% on the day, currently trading at 178.95. We rejected $2, broke back below 185. We're currently sitting at 178 right now. I would love to close, I guess, the week on Sunday above 180, but we'll see what the weekend has in store for us. I don't expect much with that funky looking liquidation heat map. Our RSI is sitting right below the moving average. Not much to say about that. Volume kind of falling off just a little bit. A red dot on the momentum wave pointing to the downside. Positive money flow. It's pretty break even, actually, in regards to bull or bear. Very, very in the middle, in my opinion. I do still like the idea of us getting this downtrend and this sideways like chop, and then the eventual pop to the upside. I don't know if that's going to come here or back here. Regardless, as long as we like keep a general mellow trajectory, like slightly up and to the right, I'll be happy. RSI kind of corroborates all that. So we're looking good. I'm going to skip some. Skip. Let's go look at Fartcoin down 9.47% on the day. Beautiful short opportunity. And we did not take it. We broke below 40. And we're heading towards 36.265, right above that right now, potentially finding support. If we do break below that, then 32.76 might be in play next. RSI seemingly rejected that moving average. Is this a tale of what's to come for the rest of our altcoins? Red dot of the momentum wave. Money flow has been positive since January 1st. A sharp sell-off on the fart coin, if you will. Avalanche down 0.73% on the day, currently trading at 1369. I do like that Avalanche is still holding well above, or not well above, just above this upper trend line on this descending channel. If we do break below that, I would like to see support around 1330, where our legacy trend line is, that orange trend line. We'll see what happens there. Our RSI seemingly rejecting that moving average, volume falling a little bit still, and red dot of the momentum wave pointed to the downside. Positive money flow since around Christmas. So it's a mixed bag. Personally, it seems to be leaning more bullish to me, but with that RSI rejection, that could tip the scale. Chainlink down 0.15% on the day, currently trading at 13.12, just below 1339, struggling to break above that. We got kind of a tweezer top right here. We'll see if that turns into a reversal in the future. As of right now, though, we're looking like we're heading to the downside, volume included. RSI having trouble getting above the moving average, red dot of the momentum wave, point to the downside, and positive money flow since Christmas, but that has not seemed to help push us any higher. Like I said before, though, with SWE, Chainlink is another great example. This descending channel, and then the breakout chop sideways, and then we eventually get a pop to the upside once all hope is lost and pretty much everyone has left the space, which I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but this 12-hour liquidation heat map seems to me like everyone is gone, completely absent from the chart. So I don't know what to make of this, to be completely honest, besides the fact that it just seems like there's no one home. But in my opinion, if there was no one home, that would be a brilliant time to absolutely giga-send the price upwards, especially if there are no sell orders, because then you got nobody to have to sell to. You just push the price higher via pure manipulation, which seems incredibly easy when you have nobody else in the way, you know, kind of stealing your thunder, if you will, which would end up costing you money. Monad is down 4.17% on the day, currently trading at 25.03. I would love to see it hold 25. We did lose 26.02. 24.14 is next in play. Where is my chapstick? There it is. We'll see how far we end up going. I like 24.14 for support, simply because we had this beautiful textbook inverse head and shoulder here that played out, target hit, and then our retrace kind of gave us a little, almost like a bear flag. And that bear flag invalidated to the upside and gave us what looks like now an inverse cup and handle. So we'll see if that inverse cup and handle ends up breaking to the downside. But this neckline, if you will, that resistance for that bear flag could potentially be support. And this could be our breakout, retest, confirmation, continuation right there, which we've seen play out already twice technically. We got once. Well, I guess that this would be number 2. So we'll see what happens. RSI not quite reset. We are continuing to reject that moving average though, with volume kind of falling off a little bit. Red dot of the momentum wave pointed to the downside, and money flow did just flip negative. Derek said, just glad I don't live in Minneapolis. What's going on there now? Do they have like civil war going on? I saw all the headlines and letters being sent out and stuff like that. Schools shutting down. I was like, dang, that sounds crazy. But I am also glad I don't live there. I hope it works out, you know, for all sides. We shouldn't be fighting amongst ourselves. It's kind of silly and stupid. But what are you going to do? Cheers, guys. Happy Friday. Oh, delicious. Am I moving around a lot more? I feel like I'm moving around so much since I got the stand-up desk. I feel like I had to put it up a little bit more, too. Is that too high? I don't know where to go. I feel like Ricky Bobby, where he's like, I don't really know what to do with my hands. Christoph DN said, hello, JJ. Can you check Pepe? Would you risk a long now? Thanks. I will check Pepe, and I will let you know what I would do, personally, because I'm not a financial advisor, and I cannot tell you what to do. if I was a degenerate gambler. So the big scary news that was possible today got pushed back to the 14th, which is in 5 days. The tariff ruling from the Supreme Court. Since that is not... Have you been standing the whole time? I have. I have been standing the whole time. It's lovely. Having the tariff ruling from the Supreme Court pushed back by 6 days does buy you time for volatility. And we are heading into a weekend, which, in my opinion, would be the only thing that could falter that potential long. Memes have been making a epic comeback very quickly, though, and it happens fast. No one suspected a roaring comeback like this out of Pepe, even though it looks like a lovely little parabola right there. And the spike in volume, it was very, very beautiful, the way that this all played out. Volume's still kind of up. You are getting a rejection from that moving average on the RSI. You have a red dot in your momentum wave pointing to the downside. It is almost oversold again, though, and your money flow is positive. So, personally, if I were, like I said, a degenerate gambler, I would absolutely open a long. But I would do a low leverage long. And I would use BitUnix, and I would sign up via the link in the description. Seriously, though. I would do low leverage, especially with Pepe, because Pepe is very volatile. A lot of volume going in this bad boy. 23. See if you do 4x, a retrace down to 456. I think you'd be safe from a liquidation. Don't quote me on that. You'd have to see. It'll tell you your liquidation point. Just make sure, not financial advice. I'm not telling you anything, actually. I'm talking to myself. I would make sure, or I would want to make sure, that my liquidation point would be higher than 4.5. And even then, let's say it's like I go to place my long and I have my mindset, I want to do like 8x leverage, let's say. Just throwing a number out there. And that leverage liquidates me just above 5. Like right there. I can go in 50% right now. Put 50% of my portfolio in. And then if it does go down, when it gets about right here, put the other 50% in. And that would actually move my liquidation point probably below 4.5. So there's math that you can do to figure that out. You can also set a tight stop loss and just babysit it. You want to make sure that you don't get caught in a swift volatility wick to the downside. Now, we have not had one of those in a very, very long time. Pepe had this monster wick on October 10th along with everything else. And then it just kind of slow bled up until January 1st, actually. Which is kind of funny considering the fact that everything was dead for the entire month of December, even going back even further, November and December, essentially. Everything was dead long before January. And out of nowhere, for whatever reason, January 1st, everyone just loaded up on everything that they wanted to build bags of. And I don't know. It seems silly to me that prices would go much lower from here, or even lower than their current local low. But I've seen crazier things play out in the market. My only concern here right now, short term, is you got more wicks to the upside than to the downside. You got about, see, these are weak, very weak. These are big, strong, like indicative of serious selling pressure at high points of confluence based on the price. Like as soon as it looks like it's going to go up, it gets sold off. Looks like it's going to go up, it gets sold off. So I don't know if people are taking profits or what. You got 5.9 as a support. You got 5 as a support. Like I said, I would personally, I like to be a little paranoid with my longs. And my low leverage, I would want to make sure that I'm not going to get liquidated if it goes down to 4.5. That would be my plan. Because that gives you room for that RSI to become oversold, which it's very possible that it does. Yeah, see, you became overbought right here, and then you went straight to oversold. You had a couple of bounces in between. Where is that? Actually, that goes... Wow. See, you don't want to experience this. You are overbought right here, and then it goes a little bounce, overbought, not quite overbought actually, overbought the same price that it was overbought in, and then you get liquidated. You don't want to experience one of those, so just be careful. Treat it like a gamble. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. These are all things that I'm saying to myself because I don't give out financial advice. That's what I would do. Pangu chilling down 1.44% on the day, currently trading at 0.01192. Not much to say about Pangu here, to be honest. It looks good. See if it continues to the upside. If we do get a pullback, I would look for support around 1 penny, actually. Silver, continuing to break records. Currently trading at 380 or up 3.81%, trading at 79.90. Like I said, I do have a hedge short position open on this, which is incredibly underwater at the moment, but that is why it's considered a hedge, because my silver is increasing in value, my short is decreasing in value. Luckily, I have a lot more money in silver than I do in the short. So technically speaking, I'm still in profit. Now, if silver does start to dump, there will, at some point, I'm sure in the future, be a time where my short does exceed the value of silver, depending on how much it dumps. That's the idea. So, we're holding well above 77. We're at 79.90. Can we get above 80? Or are we doomed to continue to linger underneath for an extended period of time? What I like about this, and unfortunately it is bearish div, at least for these 2 points, we have not quite set that third point yet, which could create longer term bearish div. But we'll keep an eye on it. But what I like is that our RSI is really resetting. Like, is it going to be almost oversold the next time we get to 80 again? That's entirely possible. And that is what you'd like to see. Right now we're building our scaffolding, another foundation for further upside. I don't know if it's going to play out exactly like that, but that was a complete accident and it looks really good. Maybe it does. Maybe silver gets to $100 before the end of January. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be insane. I'm actually going to make a note. 100 before the end of January 2026. I don't know. That'd be pretty sick, wouldn't it? DXY. Actually, let's look at gold before we look at the DXY, even though I just spoiled it. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Really helps out the channel. The views are drying up. We are the Campbell's soup of YouTube right now. Nobody wants to watch crypto stuff, so if you guys could smash the like button, I would thoroughly appreciate it. Gold, $4,509 and 1.5 cents. Very cool. Are we going to break our local high of approximately 45.52? That'd be sweet. Our RSI maybe has room for us to continue, and we might set up bearish div. As of right now, we seem somewhat safe. I like that we had kind of a little retest right here, which kind of created an inverse head and shoulder, almost 3 touches to the downside. Rejection, support, continuation. I like it. We're like, all the right moves are playing out. I'm very happy with it. Gourmet Brand said, I love that all the crypto bro influencers are now precious metals experts. I mean, you gotta adapt, man. Am I a crypto bro influencer? I feel like I've tried to be pretty diverse. You can only put so many assets on the chart. We should actually clear some of these out and put stocks on there. But I've always gone over the NASDAQ and the S&P and just general investment data in the news segment, which I think a lot of people fall off during the news segment. It's kind of a snooze fest. Yeah, gold looks good here at 45. Green dot of the momentum wave, point of the upside, bullish crossover the moving average. Let's see what happens. DXY. DXY getting a little spicy here, which we're not fans of, as not like dollar maximalists. So we're at 99. We're above 99 for the first time since, what is that, December? Pretty much. For the first time since 2025. Uh, let's see if we end up getting a proper rebound here or not. The only thing that I really worries me about the possibility of this thing continuing to grind up is we got a higher low. So that could just, continue to climb over time. I don't know how fast it would be, but we'll keep an eye on it. It is overbought on the RSI. I don't know how relevant that is to the DXY or not. And the money flow flipped positive, which the last two times that happened, it was around a top. So let's see what happens. Strategy, aka Big B Coffee, currently trading down 5.77% on the day, 157.97. Rejected 167.47 again for like the 18th time. Volume increased on the rejection as well. We'll see what happens. Our moving average, our RSI crossed bearish over the moving average. Obviously, if we start trading to the downside, we'll be able to see that illustrated in the moving average as well, or in the RSI as well. It does kind of look like, I don't know, it looks like we're consolidating, but it's really struggling to get any push to the upside at all, which has me concerned. NASDAQ closed up 1.01% on the day. Absolutely stunning, beautiful, gorgeous. That's exactly what we like to see. The NASDAQ fractal is playing out beautifully. My alternative kind of quit on me, to be honest. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. If I go straight down, it actually looks pretty dang accurate. So, I don't know. All the possibilities are outlined. We'll see what plays out. S&P closed up 0.65% on the day. Another record high, 69.66.29. Missed opportunity again, guys. Come on. It's not that hard. 69.69. History will be made. The memes will write themselves. Please. What's really funny is the meme coin SPX 6900 was made well before this actually got to the value it is. So it was almost foreshadowing. It's kind of awesome. I'm sure those people are furious though, because they've been severely outperformed by the actual asset that they were trying to meme. We'll see how the fractal continues to play out. As of right now, it looks pretty dang good. Will we get a pullback come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I feel like that's entirely possible. Time will tell. Dominance 59.18, and Bitcoin itself 90,566.89. We got news segment. A lot of news today. President Trump said the U.S. is taking billions and billions of dollars worth of oil from Venezuela. It could be trillions of dollars. Supreme Court will not issue a ruling on President Trump's tariffs today. Thank you, Supreme Court. President Trump to use alternative tariff powers if Supreme Court rules against him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would just be causing like short-term volatility, and it just creates like unnecessary issue, I feel, for all the markets in general. If they do that, they should just allow it, because he's going to figure it out regardless. And if they try to outlaw it and then he figures it out later, we're just going to have to go through the same hurdle 3 or 4 times versus once. I feel like it's kind of silly if they outlaw them, but whatever. Supreme Court to issue ruling on President Trump's tariffs next Wednesday. S&P 500 closed above 69.66 for the first time in history. President Trump calls for 10% cap on credit card interest rates. Here's my question for that. That's awesome. That's huge. I believe it's for a limited time. But is that for new credit cards or existing? Like, do everyone's credit card interest rates go down to 10% for that time period? Or is it just people who just open new cards? I'm confused. G Immortal said, "What's up, Jay? What's going on, G Immortal?" Bitcoin Wyckoff accumulation update from Marty Party. Got January 5th. Top, like I said before, he does keep changing it, but so far so good. We'll see what comes into play. It is the 9th, 15th. He's looking for a dump to go into the 18th, where we get our spring, and continuation to the upside. So far, it looks actually pretty dang good. Now that he put those red lines on there, especially, it looks pretty good. But we'll see what plays out. Like I said, he's been scooting stuff around, so. US dollar now represents 40% of global currency reserves, the lowest in at least 20 years. This percentage has declined 18 percentage points over the last 10 years. Over the same period, gold's percentage has increased 12 points to 28%, the highest since the early 1990s. Gold now accounts for more global FX reserves than euro, yen, and pound combined. This comes as century banks continue diversifying away from the US dollar while rapidly stockpiling gold in their vaults. As a result, gold prices rallied 65% in 2025, the largest annual gain since 1979, while the US dollar index declined 9.4%, its worst annual performance in 8 years. Gold is changing the world. Jay Shear said, JJ, sup family? What's going on, Jay Shear? Cheers. Happy Friday, my friend. I'm so stoked for the weekend. This week didn't even feel that long. It just was exhausting. Oh. To the weekend. Next, we got Google searches. We were talking about this yesterday. Google searches for move to Greenland surged to a record high as the U.S. considers paying Greenlanders up to $100,000 to support secession from Denmark. You know what Americans could do with $100,000? We could probably buy a house. Can I have $100,000, please, Donald Trump? Can I have a house, please, Donald Trump? Or my brand said, maybe for new charges after January 20th, those credit card companies will come up with some scheme. Oh, 100% for sure. Google, oh yeah, we read that already. Okay. Breaking, the U.S. economy adds 50,000 jobs in December, below expectations of 66,000. The unemployment rate fell to 4.4%, below expectations of 4.5%. November's unemployment rate was also revised down from 4.6% to 4.5%. The Fed is set to pause interest rate cuts. Interesting. G. Immortal said, AI said no retroactivity for the January 20th new credit card loan interest limit. Okay, so that would mean that if you get a credit card after January 20th, then your interest rate will have to be 10%. So if you have a card, it's not going to change your interest rate for that time period, correct? I don't know. You know what? After January 20th, I'll go check. I will call my credit card companies and be like, what's my interest rate right now? Just to see. Breaking, gold futures surge above $4,500 an ounce as geopolitical tensions rise and uncertainty around protests in Iran drives a flight to safety. I did not realize that Iran controlled that much of the planet. That's interesting. The U.S. Supreme Court decides not to release a highly anticipated ruling on the legality of President Trump's tariffs today. The odds of President Trump's tariffs being ruled as legal surged to 31%. Interesting. Breaking, U.S. Supreme Court is expected to release its ruling on the legality of President Trump's tariffs on January 14th. It's official. This one's really exciting. Mortgage rates have just dropped to their lowest level in nearly 3 years amid President Trump's latest actions. The average interest rate on a 30-year mortgage in the U.S. is down to 5.99%, the lowest since February 2023. This comes just days after President Trump ordered the U.S. government to buy $200 billion, worth of mortgage bonds. It literally spelled it out for me. I'm not sure how I fudged that one up. It also follows President Trump's announcement, which banned institutional purchases of single-family homes. Trump is going after the housing market. I don't know whether to jump on the possibility of a mortgage within the next month or two, or wait a couple of months, 3, 4, 5, 6, to see if housing prices actually decrease and quantity increases with institutions not being able to buy homes. Breaking, President Trump announces that Colombia's President Gustavo Petro will be coming to the White House in the first week of February. Interesting. U.S. holiday online shopping surged 6.8% year over year to a record $257.8 billion between November 1st and to December 31st. This marks at least the 6th consecutive annual increase. There were 25 days where daily spending exceeded $4 billion, up from 18 days in 2024. Cyber Week sales alone jumped 7.7% year over year to a record $44.2 billion. with Cyber Monday sales jumping 7.1% year over year to $14.3 billion. Mobile shopping accounted for 56.4% of all online transactions, reaching 66.5% on Christmas Day. Furthermore, buy now, pay later spending rose 9.8% year over year to $20 billion for the first time. Meanwhile, traffic to retail sites from generative AI tools surged 693% year over year as consumers used AI shopping assistants to find deals. Consumers borrowed and spent at a record pace this holiday season. I did not finance any Christmas, but I did get over 50% of my shopping done on Cyber Monday. However, I feel like I spent more money and got less. So that's cool that their number went up, but the quality, or not quality, the quality seems okay actually, but the quantity of items has significantly decreased, I feel. I'm a big aesthetic guy. I like the underside of the Christmas tree to look nice. And this year it did look nice, but the first, chunk that we got from shopping online, I wasn't exactly feeling it, if I'm being honest. Oh, did I not publish? I thought I published a short. Putting out, am I crazy? Where's the one? Right here, yeah. Oh no, I didn't. Oh, I did. It's in here. Okay, I'm going to mute this. I think it's muted already, but I'm going to mute it again. Maybe? Yeah. There we go. I like it. I like it to look nice. But the first chunk, it like barely filled the back of the tree. I was kind of bothered. We had to do a lot of in-person shopping, which I like to do anyways, but I don't know. You gotta fulfill the aesthetic for sure. It did not look like that after Cyber Monday. There was a lot that had to be filled in for sure. Let's see. Christoph said, the market is weak, seems to bleed out slowly again. Oak Tree said, hey, JJ, what's going on, Oak Tree? Cheers, happy Friday, my friend. The market, I don't know if weak is the right word. The market is thin. The market is very, very thin. There's no volume, Like, there's liquidity has been dried up for forever. So to say there's no liquidity would be kind of redundant. We know that there's no liquidity. But the liquidity that is here is not moving. It's just dried up, quiet. Everyone's kind of sitting. Everyone's in wait and see mode. Which I will say, when it gets quiet like this, the moves usually do tend to happen. Unfortunately, they're not always up. They're not always upside moves. We got a beautiful fractal right here on Bitcoin. And this is literally just copy-paste of this move. It's a little bit wider. So we'll see what gets fulfilled and what doesn't. Obviously, we got tomorrow and Sunday, to see what really happens. But I'm pretty confident. I'm not going to say that it's going to go straight up from here, but I like the fractal, I do. We do retrace further. I've been seeing a lot of people say 80K, and the fractal actually goes to 80K with that little touch right there. So you could technically just scoot that. And I think I'd still be in the safe mode to brag about it later. Oak Tree said, good night, JJ. Take it easy, Oak Tree. Appreciate you for stopping by. Cheers, my friend. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Really helps out the channel. Helps us get a few more views. Keep us afloat. But yeah, Bitcoin looks good in my opinion. It does. No matter what. President Trump said the U.S. will immediately begin refining and selling up to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan crude oil, will continue indefinitely. Our refining capacity was actually based on Venezuelan oil, Trump adds. This effectively confirms our analysis below. Very cool. Yeah, they're doing great things. Breaking, global bond sales jumped 26% year over year in the first week of 2026 to $248 billion, the strongest start to any year on record. World debt issuance in the first 7 days is up 128% from 2020 and 351% from 2019. This comes as issuers that held back in December are now rushing into the market to secure funding before next week's earnings blackout. Firms are also trying to get ahead of an incoming wave of AI-linked bond issuances, which will likely push borrowing costs higher. The global borrowing rush is accelerating. Interesting. You know what would be really funny is if retail started lending to institutions and we just jacked up our interest rates. That would be hilarious. President Trump on posting unreleased labor market data. Oh yeah, apparently he was given the labor market data like the day before, and he just posted it. And he said, "This is his quote, which is freaking hilarious. When people give me things, I post them." I feel like that's a totally fair assessment. Am I wrong? You know what I mean? Like, why should it be a secret? I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty good stuff. The U.S. trade deficit continues to improve at a historic pace. The U.S. goods and services trade gap narrowed 18.79 billion, or 39%, in October to 29.4 billion, the smallest since 2009. Since the March peak, the U.S. trade deficit has narrowed by 107.02 billion, or 78%. This comes as imports fell 3.2% month over month to 331.37 billion, the lowest since January 2024. At the same time, exports rose 2.6% month over month to 302 billion, the highest value on record. The merchandise trade deficit, adjusted for inflation, narrowed to 63.0 billion in October, the smallest since February 2020. The U.S. trade deficit is rapidly shrinking. That's pretty epic. It's pretty cool to see. I'm not gonna lie. It's cool to see an actual metric improve. It's cool to see an administration say, we want to fix this, and this, and this, and that, and this, and that, and they actually do one of those things. Kind of blows your mind. Like, we've been so used to them being like, we're going to solve world hunger and cure cancer. And then they're like, well, we handed out some saltines, and there's a new chemotherapy that we started. That's the best we can do. We also found out that there's some oil in this one place, so we're gonna go to war now. So stop focusing on that cancer thing and the world hunger thing that we mentioned. It's not important anymore. We need oil. That's what we're used to with every single administration. It's nice to see. We get a nice change of pace. They do the oil thing still, but it's a necessary evil, apparently. This is incredible. The 2x leveraged short silver ETF, ZSL, saw 111 million inflow on Tuesday, the largest on record. This was followed by 60 million in outflow on Wednesday, also the largest on record. Overall, investors have poured a record 327 million into the fund over the last 2 weeks. In other words, investors are heavily betting against silver after its 145% gain in 2025, the best year since 1979. Over the last 3 months alone, silver prices have surged 58%, sending 2x inverse ETF minus 69% lower over the period. Silver is set for much more volatility. What do we think? Actually, let's do a poll. We're going to do a poll. Do you think silver is going over 100 in the next 3 months? 3 months? Let's do 6 months. In the next 6 months. Do you think silver is going over $100 in the next 6 months? Yes or no? Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Also, if you haven't already, if you could go ahead and smash the like button, I would thoroughly appreciate it. Jay Shu said, I told you we need to wait for that short confirmation. That's true, but it is what it is. If I want to add to it, then I will. What's a confirmation as well? I don't know. My short confirmation is me closing my short. That would probably be the best short confirmation, which I will not. So silver's probably going to go up exponentially and indefinitely. U.S. layoffs have rarely been this high. Jay Shear said, then we short to oblivion. You still haven't told me what it is, though. Confirmation. U.S. layoffs have rarely been this high. U.S. job cut announcements surged 58% year over year in 2025 to 1,206,374, the highest total since 2020. This marks the second highest annual reading since 2009 and the seventh highest since Challenger, Gray, and Christmas began tracking began tracking data in 1989. This also means average monthly job cuts exceed 100,000 for the first time in 5 years. The government sector led all industries with 308 308,000, I can't speak, 167 job cuts. Technology and warehousing followed with 154,445. I'm so used to like billions and decimals. And 95,317 announcements, respectively. Doge was the most prominent driver of layoffs, followed by adverse market and economic conditions. The U.S. job market had a rough year. Woohoo. Chancellor Gray in Christmas. That is a mouthful. Horrible name. Builders. Ondo Finance adds another 98 new stocks and ETFs to its Ondo Global Markets, making a list of over 200 tokenized equities available on Ethereum and BNB chain. We should look into this because we got people in the chat who do not have access to platforms like Robinhood, but want to invest in American stocks. And if you can do it on a decentralized platform such as Ondo via Ethereum and BNB, then we want to make sure that you guys are made aware of that, because we believe in the freedom of finance on this channel. And we also believe in flipping the bird to the man who wishes to regulate unnecessarily. Bullish. Bank of America upgrades Coinbase to buy with 38% upside potential, citing the exchange's expansion becoming an everything exchange. That is actually pretty sick. We should probably buy some coin. Latest. This one's adorable. Are you ready? New York lawmakers reintroduce bill seeking to ban sports and political event contracts on prediction markets while allowing league outcome bets. Fuck you. New York is the epitome of a lack of freedom. It's kind of a meme. Update. Tango mined 569 Bitcoin in December 2025, lifting total holdings to 7,528.3 Bitcoin. Very cool. Update. Supreme Court of South Korea ruled Bitcoin held on centralized exchanges qualifies as seizable property under criminal law. I thought we knew that. It's a centralized exchange. That does not surprise me. Shouldn't surprise anybody. We've got meme coin market cap up 7.17% to 44.69 billion. While volume jumped 17.42% to 4.75 billion in 30 days per CoinMarketCap data. Are memes making a comeback? This is actually what I wanted to reference earlier when Christoph was asking about Pepe. The memes, according to the data, are actually waking up. Hibernation may be over. Apparently, Tether minted another billion USDT on the Tron network. Very cool. I don't trust Tron, but that's still cool. Market odds give gold a 68% chance to hit 5,000 before ETH, with $840,000 in total bets on Polymarket. On-chain data shows the 1011 whale has $790 million open position, with a $6.4 million floating loss and a $5.4 million already paid, or $5.4 million already paid in funding fees. That's crazy, dude. $5.4 million just in fees. Vitalik Buterin voiced support for Tornado Cash developer Roman Storm, who faces up to 5 years in prison. I actually agree with this. I think Trump should pardon him. Security. A former French tax official was convicted of leaking crypto holder data, raising concerns over physical security risks from tax database breaches. That's insane. U.S. December non-farm payrolls rose 50,000 below the 60,000 estimate, while unemployment edged down to 4.4%. Ripple has received registration approval from the United Kingdom Financial Conduct Authority. NASDAQ and CME Group have rebranded the NASDAQ Crypto Index as the NASDAQ CME Crypto Index to support institutional crypto allocation. This one's a big one. Delaware records show Grayscale registered a new HYPE ETF entity as a statutory trust on January 8th. I think HYPE definitely needs to be on one of our portfolios. Following a $260 million seizure by Interpol in Africa, Tether partners with UNODC to strengthen crypto crime prevention. AI now generates about 52% of new online articles, up from just 5% in 2020, rapidly overtaking human-written content across major platforms. China's regulators warned that real-world asset tokenization is risky and unapproved following last week's PBOC statement that stablecoins fail to meet China's KYC and AML requirements. Tether minted 1 billion USDT today. I don't know if this is the same 1 billion that was minted on Tron or not, but that's something to keep in mind. I do like this picture that they use of the Tether printer. Bullish. Bitcoin's RSI has flipped bullish across multiple time frames, prompting traders to target a potential 103K to 105K Bitcoin rebound within the next 3 or 4 weeks. That's huge. That would also, I think, fulfill my fractal, which would be pretty cool. You guys know I like to brag about my fractals. FedWatch data shows a 95% probability the Federal Reserve will keep interest rates unchanged in January. Look how upset Powell is here. He looks like the Keebler elf, and I don't mean to say that in a mean way. He really does. Insight. Altcoins now make up, this one's a big one. Altcoins now make up roughly 50% of total crypto trading volume, surpassing Bitcoin at 27% and Ethereum at 23%, as traders rotate into higher beta assets. Is this the beginning of the rotation? And will it skew? Because we did get Bitcoin. Did Ethereum make a new all-time high? That'd be weird. If it did and it was only a couple bucks, is that what's going to happen to everything? And are we about to rotate into large caps? That'd be kind of weird. Extended cycle diminishing returns does kind of dictate that, though. Willie Woo says data does not support the end of Bitcoin's 4-year cycles yet, noting Bitcoin network flows are still declining in line with past cycle behavior. I don't disagree with him. Obviously, we got our bull market support band break right in time for the 4-year cycle, so time will tell. As of right now, though, there is still a 4-year cycle intact. Zcash surged 15x in late 2025, and while prices have cooled in recent months, development activity has also slowed, a metric traders often watch to gauge longer-term momentum. Now, I did read a lot of details on this. The Zcash team came out and clarified a bunch of stuff. There were rumors floating around that the entire Zcash dev team resigned, and that is true, but they did not leave Zcash. They resigned from whatever formal centralized entity they were a part of that basically was like changing the rules to how they did business, that made it nearly impossible for them to like uphold what they stood for as a dev team for Zcash. And because of that, they quit. They were like, bye, we're leaving. And they all quit. They resigned. And then they pivoted. They came over here now and they started their own entity for Zcash without those rules that were going to then prevent them from being able to do their job the way that they wanted to do it as a decentralized cryptocurrency play. It made sense to me. And it's not just some random person telling you this. It's like the actual people, like part of the dev team, said this on X. So I don't know. I think that the dump was a nothing burger, but it's going to take some time to recover because it was still a dump. It was a little volatility shakeup, if you will. Bullish. According to CNBC, industry leaders see Bitcoin trading anywhere between 75,000. I like this. Anywhere between 75,000 and 225,000 in 2026 as volatility, rate expectations, and institutional demand continue to shape the market. That is a huge gap. I'm convinced that these industry leaders are actually cable guys, where they're like, well, we'll be there anytime between noon and midnight. You're like, okay, I'll just take the entire day off work then to get cable installed. So I thought that was funny. Alert. Liquidation map shows heavy short leverage stacked above price, with roughly $5 billion in potential Bitcoin liquidations near 100K and about $3 billion for ETH around 3,400. A push higher could trigger a cascade of short squeezes as price moves into these liquidity zones. Interesting. Stock Money Lizards posted altcoins step 1 breakout. done. Step 2, consolidation, done. Step 3, continuation, pending. We got breakout. I guess that's consolidation. I guess personally, I could see it actually retesting maybe, I don't know, what would that be, 3.15? We'll see what happens though. I could see it retest the upper trend line. But I like that chart. Looks good. 80% of all dollars were created in the last 5 years. Keep that in mind. 80% of all dollars were created in the last 5 years. However, here's my issue. This is why I believe modern monetary theory is a real thing. My cost of living did not increase by 80%. Or what would that even be? 800%? Whatever ridiculous metric. My cost of living went up like incrementally. Very little. So I truly believe that inflation is a fabrication meant to make people think that money has value and they got to do all this political theater to keep it valuable and all that junk. It's a figment. It's a psyop. It's a meme. If you haven't already, during the stream, after the stream, whatever you want on your own time, look up modern monetary theory. It basically says that entities like the government that prints their own money, the US government, the Chinese government, the Canadian government, whoever, a government that prints their own money cannot cause inflation. Crypto Spaces said, someone debating me that you can't turn 1K into 1 mil in crypto. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You could probably show them a million examples of people actually doing that on chain. You could turn a couple bucks into $1 million in crypto. Show them the compound interest calculator. Like, they didn't even really have to do crypto. Very possible, but it feels impossible now. 23 to 24, you could pull it off. I don't think it feels impossible now. It's just hard. There's no volatility. There's no momentum. We just need volatility and momentum to return. We need the ISM PMI business cycle to flip. Worst case scenario, we need to wait until the next bull market if we are entering a traditional bear market. But yes, if you compound your gains, you could take $50 within 6 months and turn that into over 300K. So after a year, you'd probably have a couple million just by making 5% a day, which is easy in crypto. You gotta have discipline though. This cracked me up. I'm not gonna play the video, but Dubai Billionaire explains why income tax makes no sense. You work 5, 6, 7 months of the year for free. Abolish the IRS. I'll play it. Hold on. I don't like taxes. I don't understand taxes. Like what? Like I hear people in the Western world pay 40, 50, 60% tax. I was like, wow, you're dumb. It's like you basically work 5, 6 months, 7 months of the year for free, basically. That's what you're telling me? And he's not wrong. That is what it would be, which blows my mind. And you get nothing. He mentions that too. He's like, you get, for what? For no safety, average education, below average health care. It's like, why even doing that? It's like, no, we don't pay taxes in the UAE or most of this region, okay? It is what it is. I guess my biggest issue with taxes is when I learned that it's such a small amount of what the government actually spends anyways, why even burden the public with extra cost? You can offset that just by printing, because you're going to print money anyways. Just print the money that you need from taxes, because you don't need any of it anyway. Look at all of the useless spending that we've seen our tax money go to. Fraud. Probably 90% of taxpayer money goes to fraud. And I wish I was joking. I wish I was not confident in that number, but it's probably true. They do not verify anything. It's ridiculous. And you know, us law-abiding citizens, we're like, yes, Mr. Taxman, this is how much money I made, and this is how much money I owe you. Here's all my money. Take the money. And then you have no money. Meanwhile, all these other people come from other countries, and they're like, yes, I qualify for all of these benefits. I'm not lying to you. Give me money. And the IRS, or not, whoever handles that, the country, is like, okay, Here's billions of dollars. Thank you for coming to America. Ridiculous. Christoph said Pepe is heading to the downside. Yes, it is. You got that, yeah, that RSI is not oversold yet, especially on the 4-hour. You got room for sure. You want to flip bullish over that moving average before you get too excited, but also it would be a better spot to be in an oversold RSI. Crypto Spaces said, because people have not experienced a real bull run and so long, everyone's so pessimistic on the space, we are being outperformed by every other asset class. That is true. That is 100% true. And it's like I said a million times before, and I published it as well. I still feel the same way. My options here are, example, let's say I have $10,000 in crypto. I can sell and have $10,000. If crypto moons, I have $10,000. If crypto rugs, I have $10,000. Cool. So if I sell, I have $10,000. Or I can hold. If crypto moons, I make life-changing money. If crypto rugs, I lose $10,000. So the best case and worst case are I either make life-changing money by holding while risking losing 10K, or I miss out on life-changing money after selling, but I guarantee that I hold on to this 10K. One of those is significantly easier to cope with than the other one. I would rather lose $10,000 and have the opportunity to make that much money than miss out on life-changing gains and have $10,000. I don't think I could look my family in the face and say, I had the opportunity to make millions of dollars, but I fumbled it because for some reason I thought that we needed this $10,000 right now. And we did not. We did not spend the $10,000. We did not touch the $10,000. I still have the $10,000. So I could have kept it in the market. It's a lot easier to cope with losing 10K than missing out on millions. That is my mentality here. And I don't have to, that it doesn't have to be that black and white either. I can diversify. I can invest elsewhere. Even we can get really analog with it, and I can invest in a business. I can start my own business or start my own side hustles. That way, if the entire market crashes, if there's a bubble and it all just comes crumbling down, I'm not only exposed to investments that are crashing and the bubble that's popped and it's over and, I got to go back to work. I have a job, I have investments, I have side hustles, I have businesses, and you're diversified, you're safe, your safety net is big and plentiful. That is the way that I'm setting myself up. And it's slow, but I'm also paranoid, so I enjoy the safety that it provides my brain. Crypto Spaces said, sad, but I love this space. Made my most money here. Would not have done it anywhere else. I agree. And I will say, and this sucks because I remember how fun the bull market was, but I think I've made the most money in my life during the bear market. Going from the bear market lows to like slightly recovered, I made such a ridiculously insane amount of money in that short period of time. I made more money then than I made during the 2021 bull market. Crypto Spaces said, most think crypto is bear market this year. Better to start a business. Would be nice to make decent crypto gains to reinvest. So why not do both? I'm going to continue my dollar cost average. I'm not going to sell my positions at all. Personally, I think it's silly to fully exit your positions ever. I think keeping a moon bag is very important. That's my own opinion. I'm not going to judge anybody else for fully selling. You guys do what you want. I think it's silly to fully exit a position. I can start a business. I can build bags. I can do all of that at the same time. It's a little taxing sometimes. I got to sit here and I've got to be like, oh, do I want to buy some more stocks? Do I want to buy some equipment for my business? Do I want to invest in more crypto? Or maybe I do a little bit of each. You know, what is necessary? You got to kind of sit down and do the game plan every Friday, because I DCA every payday, so that's the way I like to do it. And then I have dry powder on the side. I have extra income coming in. Sometimes I just get money from a job on the side, and I just throw it into somewhere. I buy some stocks. Maybe I place a bet on Kalshi. I have a position in Kalshi waiting for me to place a bet. I haven't done it yet. I was going to bet on rate cuts, but now that seems stupid. Pulse Playa said, "Sup, Playa? How's your night going?" It's going pretty good, actually. Pretty chill. Cheers. Happy Friday, my friend. It is Friday. My night is amazing right now because it is Friday and because I'm here with you guys and because you smashed the like button. So cheers to you guys. Crypto Spaces said, "I agree on the moon bag." Whenever somebody tells me they're like, "I'm out. I sold everything." I'm always like, "Oh, why would you do that to yourself?" But I don't say that. I'm like, "Oh, okay, you gotta do you. Do your thing, man. Do your thing." But deep down inside, I'm like, oof. But that's not to say they're not going to re-enter at the right time. If they do, that'd be great. That Pulse Play said just got here. What are we talking about right now? A little bit of everything. People fully exiting their positions, portfolio diversity, and even investment diversity. You can have different portfolios here and there, but maybe you don't even want to invest in assets. Maybe you want to invest in yourself and start a business. All that stuff. Focus on what you can control. You cannot control the crypto market, so buy some stocks. You can't control the stock market, so buy some assets. You can't control the gold and silver market, so build a business. You can control a business. Crypto Spaces said most coins aren't going up, lol. Only outliers on Solana. I think the space is too difficult for the average person, to be honest, to balance a job and all these veteran traders you are trading against. That Pulse Play said, "I'm adding personally." I'm always adding. Every Friday, man. Every Friday. I think when it looks bleak and it gets boring, I think that's when stuff starts to really pop off. That's my personal belief. Crypto Spaces said, "But to trade those in extremely difficult retail, I won't come back to that." That's true. What if stablecoins reach mass adoption and we I don't know, I feel like the user interface needs help. Crypto.com is one of the most well-known platforms simply because of their domain, and it's still such a pain in the ass to buy, sell, or trade on their platform. I had to do 4 or 5x authentication to buy some SNEC and move it. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get crypto.com because they have SNEC and I can buy it on the go." And I did that, and then I got home and I tried to move it, and it was like, "We need your PIN. We need you to verify your email, verify your phone number, verify your name and address. Type in this CAPTCHA, press these shapes, tell me where the buses are." And I'm like, "What?" I'm not even joking. That's not a joke. I wish I was joking. I was going through and I was doing this 5 or 6 times, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then it failed the first time. I freaked out. This is insanity. It was out of control, man. That Pulse Play said, "Be right back. I want you to look up the charts. Be right back. Are you ending the stream soon?" No, we're still going through the news segment, actually. Okay, we got this chart predicts if the 4-year cycle is still in play, Bitcoin will dump to 40K next month. I don't know if I believe it's going to 40K. I think that's a little crazy, but we like to look at bearish and bullish outcomes, and one of these this is one of the bullish or bearish ones, so we're going to take a look at it, of course. Let's see. Crypto Spaces said long-term investing and waiting years to get rich is the better way. Just buying Bitcoin for years and that's it. I feel like Bitcoin doesn't have a high enough return. I'd rather gamble on blue chips and hope that those go up. That Pulse Player said, "I gotta find it," from Ivan on Tech. Drummer said, "Don't forget to like and subscribe." Everyone, guys, listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. Smash the like button and subscribe if you are new. We are trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before April. That'd be pretty cool if you guys contributed to that. Crypto Spaces said, "You won't get rich until you're old. That way, though. Sad when there are new millionaires minted literally every day." Yeah, I'm not willing to accept that. If that's the way that it's got to be, then that's the way that it's got to be. But that's also why I have a job. I got income from multiple avenues. So that way I'm not reliant on crypto going up. That's also important as well. I feel like too many people got that in their head that they could retire on crypto, and now suddenly they can't, so they're like mad at crypto for some reason. This one cracked me up. Someone stole a Bitcoin ATM and tried to get the coins out. I don't even think you can put cash in these things, which is hilarious. It's literally just like an entry point. So that was funny. We've got Mustache on X posting altcoins. The calm will soon come to an end, and the legendary uptrend for crypto, and especially alts, will begin. Multi-year patterns are about to break out. I'll repost this in a few weeks when alts have already risen significantly. Bar chart. 69% nice of the S&P 500 stocks are now trading above their 50-day moving average, the strongest market breadth since August. More than 15% of consumers feel they won't be able to make a minimum debt payment in 3 months, the most since the pandemic. This is actually insane. I'm not entirely sure what market implications that has, but not being able to make the minimum debt payment that's crazy to me. Campbell's Soup fell to its lowest price since the global financial crisis. That's pretty crazy. That's because the CEO lost his mind. He crashed out. US DXY heating up, now above 99 for the first time in 1 month. I like to say that like that's a long time. The world will experience a copper shortage of 10 million tons by 2040 and pose a systemic risk to the global economy, warns S&P Global. I am going to continue to stack copper because of this. 2040 is only 14 years away, which is not that long. Small cap stocks are now outperforming the NASDAQ by the largest margin since April. That's pretty cool. Silver on track for 9 consecutive green months, which will be its longest winning streak in history. Honestly, the longer this goes on, the more you really start to like truly believe all of the supply shortage, like crazy stories that are out there. And they seem feasible too. They're not even that outlandish. And last but not least, natural gas getting dumped to its lowest price since November 2024. That's what I like to see. That's how I heat my home and my water. Thank you, natural gas, for decreasing in cost. All right. That pulse play said I got it. Go look up Livermore BTC chart and love your opinion on it, Kay. Absolutely. Crypto Spaces said maybe we all become pimps and 5 hot girls and find 5 hot girls and run their OnlyFans accounts, or do that with AI girls, lol. Honestly, both would be hilarious. What if we found women who controlled the AI accounts? That way they didn't have to, like, sell themselves, but there's still a girl behind the account, so the guys are like, oh, there's a babe. This is, like, a real babe, like, behind this, like, cartoon chick. It's a real babe. She's real. She's from Canada. She's my girlfriend. And then we could be like the first like hybrid AI real, we can call it like real eye or some crap. Real eye OnlyFans. It's so stupid. It's late, man. We're doing a late night stream. It's almost midnight. We're talking about AI girlfriends. Did you guys see the Goon Tube? The Razer Goon Tube. It's literally like a tube with like a little holographic like waifu inside of it, and it's like really cringy. It's like, nice shot, hun. Wow, you're looking pretty fly in that green jacket. Pretty sick, babe. It's so stupid. All right, let's go take a look at this. Might want to go look at Livermore chart on Google, not Dex Screener on Google. Okay, Livermore BTC. Viral chart 300K chart just proved me wrong. Livermore. Ivan on Tech. We got a YouTube. Oh, yes. I have this in my. Okay, it's gonna take me a minute. Oh, can I search my bookmarks? I don't think I can. So it was not that long ago. It had to have been yesterday, the day before. Bear with me, guys. We looked at this chart. Oh, look at this sick car, dude. Look at this little car. That is so freaking cool. So it was originally like a different car, but like some body kit company just came out with a body kit for it. It's so cool looking. All right, the Livermore chart. Livermore chart is somewhere in here from yesterday or the day before. Where is it? Nope. Oh yeah, houses are more unaffordable than ever. The Livermore chart. Did I pass it? That would be so annoying. What if I passed it and you guys saw it? Somehow I missed it. You guys were like, you passed it, dude. And I'm not paying attention to the chat at all right now. Livermore chart is going to be right here. No? Am I crazy? I feel like it wasn't even that long ago. It couldn't have been this long ago. This is crazy. Was it? No. Right there. It was January 5th, which was 4 days ago. Wow. Okay. So the Livermore chart is quite beautiful. We have a accumulation cylinder with widening mouth. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Currently sitting at G, which happens to be also number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we are about to go to H, which is 8, which is give or take $225,000, which is pretty sick. Apparently it was originally posted by Tyler Durden, so thank you, Tyler Durden. And thank you, Khalil, for being real and actually posting credit to this guy from August 20th, 2025. I am your hopium dealer. Which makes me one of the random guys on the street that's like, psst, hey, you guys want some opium? And then I open up my shirt, and it's got this chart on it. You guys are like, oh, it's so bullish. All right. Livermore chart is some real hopium. I'm laughing, but I'm pretty serious. Nice car. Isn't that sick? That's a proper bear market car. John Gregory said, dude, you're working late tonight? Absolutely, my friend. I got a stand-up desk. We got so much room for activities, man. I can go back here now. Check this out. I'm way back here. We can like do full 360. I can also sit down. The desk has presets. I can do preset little buttons. I can press the button and then go disappear. Pretty cool stuff. We've moved into like the 20th century here at JJ's Cryptic Corner. I need that hopium though, for real. Same. I think you just search it. No, I got it. Thank you, JJ. You're the freaking man. Thank you, that Pulse Player. You the freaking man. We got Michael Vandepop also commenting on this. Jesse Livermore is amazing. Read his books, quality to read. Crypto Spaces said, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep eating cinnamon rolls listening to JJ. The soothing voice of a man slowly spiraling into insanity. Welcome to JJ's Cryptic Corner. The all-important action of Stock A, Livermore's speculative chart. Test before selling short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Volume. Interesting. And then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. We are currently sitting at G, which is number 7, heading to 8, which is the letter H. Allegedly, $225,000, according to the last person that we looked at. We will have to see what actually happens. My favorite part about this is that it does not rely on the idea of this cycle being identical to last cycle, because that's what all the bears are pointing out, and that just seems way too easy to me. And maybe it is that easy. Maybe that's why we're idiots. I don't know. Worst case scenario, though, like I've said a million times before, worst case scenario, I gotta wait a little bit longer. What's another 4 years at that point? You know what I mean? Then we know the exact bottom to buy, or at least around the exact bottom to buy, and we will be loaded by the time the next cycle is even in question. Crypto Spaces said, you are the second streamer I watch that started whispering in the stream. I don't know what to tell you. We're getting a little bit sleepy here. I'm not gonna lie. Bull run might be here. Yeah, that's entirely possible. We're whispering it into existence. All right. Thank you, Tyler Durden. And the other guy, Kaleo, I think his name was. Kaleo. Very cool. Let's go see our portfolio updates. We've  got the 1K to 10K Grok portfolio currently only down 400 and, what is that, 48.4%. Best performer is Solana, only down 19. Worst performer is Aptos, down 71. Then we've got the meme coin portfolio, currently down 560, 56%. Best performer is Pepe, down $75. Worst performer is GigaChad, down $165. Then we've got the narrative portfolio, my favorite, and I believe the best performer so far of the entire portfolio saga, currently down 100 and, what is that, 78? 178, or 35.6%. This portfolio, in case you guys are curious, is made up of one meme coin, one artificial intelligence coin, one decentralized physical infrastructure coin, one real world asset coin, and one gaming coin. And it is absolutely killing it. Look at that. Fetch is up 19% on the week. Best performer is Tau, only down $6 or 6%. Worst performer is VeChain, down $58 or 58%. And then last but not least, we got the perfect entry portfolio, currently down $408, 40.8%. Best performer is Chainlink, down 14. Worst performer is Avalanche, down 61. That is it. Ladies and gentlemen. JY's Adventure said, late night stream, let's F and go. I like the stream. Appreciate you, JY's Adventure. Guys, JY's Adventure in the house, liking the stream. Make sure you do the same thing. He makes a lot of money because he likes the stream. If you want to make a lot of money too, you also have to like the stream. If you've been not making a lot of money, it's because you haven't been liking the stream. The Fractal Farquad knows. Let's go take a look at Total 3. I want to get a little zoom out action here. We're going to go a little macro. 874.65 billion. Interesting. What do we got going on here? So, I pointed out on the total crypto market cap, I apologize for the millions of lines, but I'm not going to get rid of them. We got a slow launch, I'm going to call it, and then a very slow bleed, and then a choppy breakout, and then a pop, and then a bleed, choppy breakout, pop, bleed, choppy breakout, pop. That's probably how it's going to play out. We've watched it play out 2-3 times now. Now, that is on Total 3. What does Total 2 look like? Does Total 2 have something similar? Yes, it does. We also have a beautiful fractal on Total 2, which I might have to adjust. I already pointed out here, look at this. A lot less lines on here, so it's a lot easier to manage. We've got a slow rise, bleed, choppy breakout, rise, bleed, choppy breakout, rise, bleed, choppy breakout. This is 3 for 3 so far on the rise, bleed, choppy breakout. Total crypto market cap is even more obvious. Get a little zoom out action here. So this one's very interesting. It's one of my favorites to look at because the trajectories change dramatically. We've got a very quick rise, and then a medium rise, and then a slow rise. We've got a very slow bleed, and then a medium bleed, and then a fast bleed, very quick bleed. I'm not sure how it's going to play out the next time, but with all of this, we've got rise, bleed, choppy breakout, rise, bleed, choppy breakout, with the rise. I don't know what you want to call that one. That one actually might be the first one where it doesn't have the choppy breakout even. Maybe you can call it that. I don't know. It kind of doesn't exist. But we've got our rise, bleed, choppy breakout right now. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to play out like this and that we're going to be sitting at 4.66 trillion by April of this year. But if we're following the trajectories and our rise happens fast, medium, slow, and slower, that slower one looks at about December 2026 for a potential top. Not financial advice. That's the alternate estimate for total market cap top. The quick version right here, which is literally just like a copy paste of this choppy breakout, and then quick rise, the medium rise, which probably took around 5 months if the bleed was 5 months as well, puts us around April, like I said. That post play said, praying to the Livermore gods. They're right. Really want to rent that B&B you mentioned. Okay, that would be sick. Guys, if we do enter a proper bull market scenario, and you guys are interested, join the Discord. We are going to organize a meetup, and it's probably going to be like Nashville-ish, Tennessee. Try and make it like central, maybe a little Midwest, but I'm not going to California. If anyone's out in California, I'm sorry, I love you guys, but you got to drive or fly. But we're going to rent an Airbnb. They have like McMansions out there with everything you can ever imagine. And we're going to do a meetup and like, I don't know, a boys' night. It's going to be sick. There's going to be like a pool table. We can go to, I really want to go to Dollywood. I don't know why. I want to go to Dollywood. I feel like it would be fun. But we'll set something up. I think it'd be sick. Giovanni said, what's up? Silver over 100, bro. No way. Yo, that'd be crazy. People are talking about it. And the supply squeeze, as well as the recent price action. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Looking at silver on the daily is scary. I don't like that. That is terrifying. That is a parabola blow off top if I have ever seen one. Wow. Can it go straight up from here? I feel like it really could. You got this guy. You got this guy. And then you got this guy. Woo! John Gregory said, just saw a video where Trump is crapping. You literally said Trump is crapping credit card rates on January 20th to 10%. Dang. He better not crap those credit card rates. That's great. That is true, allegedly, John. Now, here's my question to you. Is it going to apply to all credit cards or only credit cards that people open after January 20th? That is my question. Because how does that work? Is it only going to be newly obtained credit cards? Or is every credit card in existence going to have just a 10% rate for that amount of time? Jay Reservation said, Watch Guru just posted that, John Gregg. We went over it in the news segment as well. Just the crappy credit cards. I enjoy the predatory credit cards with like, oh, it's only 35% credit or 35% interest rate. Like, that's an insane interest rate. Are you freaking crazy? Don't even waste the paper to print that and mail it to me. You're embarrassing yourself. Let's see, where is it? Did I miss it? I must have missed it. President Trump calls for 10% crap on credit card interest rates. You're right, John. There it is. But yeah, silver on the 4 hour. Oops. Get out of here. Okay, silver on the 4 hour. People are looking for $100, man. Give the people what they want. So we have some clear bearish div right here. And we have the possibility of that continuing. Like, if this extends up a little bit and then rejects, and then this goes up without going like higher than the first one, then that'll just set up some longer term bearish div. So we'll see how it plays out. This is the right kind of bearish div to have, because long term, like macro down the road, it does just signal a short-term downtrend and a longer-term uptrend for price, and a short-term uptrend, longer-term downtrend for the RSI. So we'll see what happens. But silver still snapping necks and cashing checks, man. Silver has been on an absolute monstrous run, and it is pretty impressive to watch. Everything else is pretty quiet, pretty chill. No really big news. This one's literally my favorite. The economic data that got published, like Trump was sent it yesterday, and he posted it yesterday. And then they asked him, like, the data was officially published today, and they asked him about it, and he just said, when people give me things, I post them. Which made me really happy. That's just funny. It's really funny and stupid, and it makes me happy. The U.S. layoffs also, I forgot to point this out earlier, is in a rising middle finger pattern. If you don't see it, you actually have the thumb as well. The thumb is this little guy right here. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool. But yeah, Trump crapping on credit cards. Was not expecting that at all. This is also very exciting. Small cap stocks outperforming the NASDAQ by the largest margin since April. Will tariffs be ruled illegal? I'm 50-50 on it. I feel like, and I guess it's not the Supreme Court's job to give a crap about causing an inconvenience or whatever. I don't think that they're going to be ruled illegal. And that might be my bias talking. Because he's going to find out a way to make them go through anyways. If they do rule them illegal, I hope that they will say, you do not have to give back the money, like they're illegal from this point forward. You have to figure out a different way to do them from this point forward. The money that you've collected from here backwards, you can keep. Do with it what you please. Or what if it'll be even more epic if they were like, these are illegal, but you cannot pay the money back. You have to give it to the American people. I don't know if that would ever be a thing, but that would be sick. Joe Has Adventure said, will tariffs be ruled illegal? If yes, that will be good for the market. So I think we will get a pump, but I don't know if it'll be immediate. We got pretty destroyed on Liberation Day, which was April 2nd. And if you go to the daily here, check this out. Are you ready for this? Liberation Day. I can actually find it because of the volume. Look at that. Liberation Day is down there. Volume was great. We were doing good. We're building. Liberation Day, boom. Volume is gone. Flatlined. That is Liberation Day right there. April 2nd. Tariffs sucked the liquidity out of the market entirely. Tariffs happened and everyone was like, oh, I don't want that crypto shit if we got to pay tariffs. Why? I have no idea. But that is what happened. And we got wrecked. Completely wrecked. Isn't that insane? Now this is specific to Coinbase, but Coinbase is very much the American consumer. Maybe not all of us. Now what's nice is since the cool off, we've cooled off, and volume started coming back just a little bit of volume. It's a little bit more. It's less right now, but I don't know. When tariffs happen, the difficulty of the market, right? Yeah, they definitely just switched it to extremely hard permadeath mode. Like we're doing some kind of record-breaking speed run here, and it's not working. But we'll see what happens, man. If they rule it illegal, I think there's going to be some short-term volatility. It's going to get very, very spicy. I'm not sure what Trump will do, though. I'm just worried about the money because he's going to be like, we don't have the money. And then everyone's going to be like, we don't have money. And then, people are going to be, buying up all the toilet paper and shit. It's going to get weird for a minute. Definitely gonna get weird. But anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna make my grand exit. As much as I want to stay here and hang out, we're gonna do a long format stream soon. I'm gonna plan some stuff. We're gonna have some fun. Maybe play some games, build some portfolios, buy some, I don't know, meme coins. We're gonna play some bets on Kalshi, see how much money we can lose. JY's eventually said optimistic about the next bull run with low interest rates and quantitative easing. They're pretty much doing quantitative easing right now. Like we're very much not easing into quantitative easing. They're going like full bore, no lube quantitative easing. So it's gonna be fun. As always, guys, when Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Friday and good night.